welcome to StarCast from Planet Waves. I'm Eric Francis Coppolino, author of Planet Waves Horoscope and articles, host of Planet Waves FM on Pacifica Radio Network. Thank you for joining me. Tonight's edition is descriptive of the Sagittarius full moon that takes place on May 23rd, as well as a few other bits and bobs of the astrology, planets going into Gemini and all of that. But first, a couple of house announcements. One is that Forward in All Directions Astrology Studio for Gemini is ready, or it will be very soon. I have recorded it. We just need to process it and put it up onto the internet. So in a little while, you'll get a delivery message if you're a customer of that product, or if you hold an astrology pass, formerly known as the Backstage Pass. And for everyone else, instant access coming soon. This is a perfect reading for Gemini, Sun or Rising or Moon. These readings are basically better than therapy sessions. They're a lot cheaper and probably a lot more fun as well. And I just cover important things, and I can handle all kinds of subject matter. And this is, as you will hear from this reading of the Sagittarius full moon chart, quite an exciting time in the life and history of anything and anyone Gemini. So let's consider this chart, which is set for the 23rd of May. Today's Tuesday, the 21st. Is that right? That's right. Tuesday, the 21st. That's right. So this is going to be Thursday, the 23rd of May at 9:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I read charts cast from my local area because that's what you do. You don't put it like for Washington, D.C. or something like that. So, and I get good results. And so this is an exciting chart cast for this moment. There are some really beautiful things about it. But let's first kind of give it a bulk view, a kind of an overview of some of the main elements that are in there. And so one thing about the astrology right now is we've got a really juicy blend of all of the elements. In the air signs, we have the sun and Pluto and other factors lurking in the background. We're soon to have a lot more in the air signs. In the earth signs, we have a whole collection of things in Taurus, currently Venus, Uranus, Mercury, Uranus, Jupiter, and Venus. In the fire signs, we've got Mars, Chiron, Eris, and the North Node in Aries. In the water signs, we've got Saturn, Nessus, and Neptune in Pisces. Not mentioning here the moon in Sagittarius. So all of the elements are strong, and all of the elements are blending together in this really interesting way. And I haven't gone over all of the different things in this chart, of which there are many others. I'm only going to cover a few of them. So about a day and a half ago, the sun moved into Gemini, ending Taurus season, leaving a lot of things behind in Taurus. Left behind in Taurus include the things I mentioned: Mercury, Uranus, Jupiter, and Venus, and Mercury. But now the sun is on its way through Gemini, and this full moon is something interesting, which is it is an exact trine to Pluto. So this is only possible with Pluto in Aquarius. So we get all kinds of new flavors of charts with Pluto in Aquarius, and one of them is an air sign, fire sign full moon that tunes right into Pluto. So this is what I call a proving event for Pluto in Aquarius. It is a thing that rings the bell of Pluto in Aquarius in a very specific way, and therefore we get a taste of the energy of Pluto in Aquarius in a way that is harmonious rather than in a way that is fraught and conflicted because it's the moon and the sun forming a trine in a sextile. Now, that does not mean that weird things don't happen. Weird things happen under trines as well. But what's nice with the trine is that a flow of energy is opened up, and there's access to the different parts of the chart that can be had in a more laid back and conscious way, rather than in the style of a square, which is often the style of some form of enforced growth or being pressured to confront a situation that you might not want to confront, a situation, a blockage, a contradiction, a paradox of some kind. Whereas with a trine, you can feel both ends of the trine. Now, we are entering a long phase where Gemini and Aquarius are going to be in a kind of harmony with one another, because there's been a very important slow-moving planet that's entered Gemini, which is Sedna, which hasn't been in Gemini since the end of the last ice age. Yes, it's a planet orbiting our sun. It's very far away. And that is going to be resonating with another slow mover, not as slow, but still quite slow, which is Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius is over in 20 years. Sedna in Gemini is over in 2066, so it moves a lot more slowly, but they both represent, you might think of them as evolutionary levels of the air signs, meaning ideas and thought. And in the reading for Gemini, and I don't really plan these readings so much as I have a couple of things I want to talk about. I know the chart that I'm going to read, and I've read the chart a lot of times. I've finished all the horoscopes out till June 20th, so I've read these charts over and over again. And then I just start talking. And one of the things that came out of this reading, completely unplanned, a real revelation, which is that I think that the presence of Pluto in Aquarius and then also Sedna Jupiter in Gemini is an activation of this philosophical concept called the noosphere, Noosphere. Oxford, and I'm going to read you the definition from the Oxford Dictionary. So let's see. I got it. Let's see. The last search went a lot better. Okay, here it is. So the noosphere is, one way to think of it is the sphere of all information on the planet, which can span from genetic information all the way out to technological information and thought. So all that is written, all that is remembered, all that is encrypted in the cellular memory is part of the noosphere. A postulated sphere, says Oxford, which knows everything, a postulated sphere or stage, I love that, of evolutionary development dominated by consciousness, the mind, and interpersonal relationships. Frequently with reference to the writings of an old monk named Teilhard de Chardin. Chardin, when did he live? And it was originally postulated by a biogeochemist named Vladimir Vernadsky. I did not know that until now. He looks like, when you roll over, it looks like a very smart guy with a white beard and little round glasses. This guy knows what he's talking about. And then picked up by the Jesuit priest Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. I know it's Jesuit, it can't be good, but Chardin was very smart, and he understood the interconnected nature of consciousness. He understood that the sphere of consciousness is one sphere. It is like a place in consciousness and in awareness, and we can either go there or not go there. We can interact, interplay with it, or we can hide from it and keep away from it. And so, therefore, I think that the activation of these very mental plane signs, Aquarius and Gemini, by these slow-moving outer planets, is going to help us retune the currently exceedingly chaotic noosphere, chaotic especially because of the digital problem. The fact that consciousness has been entirely dominated, though we don't like to admit it, by digital technology, and not only digital technology, what we humans have become interacting with, being trained and taught by, and modeling ourselves and our self-concept on the example set by all of these robots that completely surround us at all times, and where there's no escaping from it. All we can do is wake up in the middle of this very strange digital dream and do what we can to create it into a kind of a lucid dream rather than a dream that is being dreamed for us. And that is one way to contemplate the nature of the digital realm, as a dream that is being dreamed for us. I will tell you that as a digital presenter, I am fully aware of the fact that the digital realm is a dream that is being dreamed for us. And I do my best to be an aware and compassionate guide to the dream, and to learning how to orient yourself and find your way within this, what for many people is completely disoriented nightmare. And many of the people who are having problems do not recognize the digital nature of their problems. It's not like they can really solve them, but the digital realm is causing all kinds of mental instability, intellectual instability, cultural, political, social, relational instability. And it's as if people are having relationships and expectations based on a set of principles that simply cannot be responsive or contain the total anarchy of the digital realm. Okay, so this is supposed to be an astrology podcast. I better try do a little more of that. Oh, I was talking about Gemini and Aquarius. Okay, so a couple of other bits and bobs. I've included the charts. Now, there are a few things going on. First of all, in all of these charts, you'll see that at the very top is Mars, and it's got a 17 underneath it. It looks like the symbol on the men's room door. It is in Aries, and it is about to make a conjunction to Chiron. I don't know the exact date. And then it's about to make a conjunction to Eris. So Mars, Chiron, and Eris are going to be very active in Aries. Now, in another time, I might have said convincingly that there will be observable, interesting, and or strange events that are going on as a result of this. However, things are so strange that nobody can tell the difference between what's strange and what's not strange anymore, and very little actually stands out from anything anymore. It all seems like we're just basically taking a ride in some kind of a strange blender. However, these are powerful aspects. They are powerful aspects for self-actualization above all else. And I recognize that the world itself is presenting a kind of a maelstrom that is a tremendous distraction from inner reality. But that said, Mars conjunct Chiron is the supreme invitation to wake up to yourself and to wake up to your sacred warrior energy that will provide you with the inner source of strength and impetus to be able to become the person who you are in this world, to make contact with your original instructions, to make contact with your desire nature, a fundamental element of Mars. And that aligns with Chiron, which is about the process of becoming conscious. So I'll get back to the Mars-Eris conjunction in the next edition of this, probably on Thursday. But now we're right upon the Mars-Chiron conjunction. And this is just one of those special conjunctions in astrology. And it only happens a few times every 50 years. I think there are 4 of these, and I think this is the third of 4. I looked into this once, and I think that the fourth of 4 happens with Chiron at the very end of Aries in 2 years. We should be aware of the fact that Chiron is going, even though it's been in Aries since early 2018 and finally settled into Aries in early 2019, that we are entering the peak of Chiron in Aries. One of the major harbingers of that peak was the 4/8 total solar eclipse conjunct Chiron. Sun, Moon, Chiron in an exact conjunction at the new moon. And then this Mars-Chiron conjunction, and then over the next year, beginning in a year from now, and it's really only 4 degrees away today, the conjunction of Chiron and Eris. And the Chiron-Eris conjunction really stirs the pot. The last time it happened was 70-71. Take a look at some historical timelines from 70-71, and you will see that we are entering an era with much the same feeling of the early 1970s. It is not all sweetness and starlight. There are people who are really ready for a confrontation, and yet at the same time there are many people who are ready to grow. So let's now skip to the second chart down, and I'll wrap up on this note. If you notice in the top chart, it looks like a big cluster of planets. It's like you can't tell what's what and what's going on in there. It's like they're all just kind of smashed into one another. But if you take out lots of points and you only leave a few, 3 to be exact, Neptune, Jupiter, and Venus, you see there's a pattern hidden in there. And the pattern hidden in there is a sextile, which is not going to last long. It is an immediate, momentary thing of beauty. Jupiter sextile Neptune, Venus sextile Neptune, and then that Venus-Jupiter conjunction. This is a kind of a late-breaking boon. There is something very positive in here. There is something that exceeds the bounds of what we think of as possible. That is what that aspect is about. And by the way, it is the 3 rulers of Pisces aligned in one aspect at the same time. Venus is exalted in Pisces, Jupiter is the classical ruler of Pisces, and Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. And these are aligned magnificently, tuned like an oboe in the very last degrees of their signs. That is the improbability factor. That is the something happens that you just couldn't imagine happening. And it's certainly a wonderful thing for all of those who love Pisces or who are under the influence of Pisces. Of course, the back end of this, the psychological downside of this could be a lot of waiting leading up to this, wondering and when something's going to happen, and then, it happens and no one notices. Please pay attention. Please notice. All right, so I think that is all I am going to say for tonight's special edition. Please avail yourself of Forward in All Directions. If you've never purchased one of my readings and you're Gemini Rising, Gemini Moon, give it a try. If you don't like it, I'll refund your money. I promise this has got something special for you. I wish there was somebody doing these kind of things for me, but I do them for me, and I benefit, learn, and grow every time I do one of these readings, one of these podcasts, or write a Planet Waves horoscope or article for you. Okay, more to come a little bit later in the week with the monthly horoscope comes out on Thursday, and a new article. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your business and your trust. And I'll catch you on a different day. Signing off from Kingston, New York at 5:09 on the 21st. I'm Eric Francis. Lots of love. And bye for now.